As a big fan of Fire Emblem Heroes, it pains me that the game is in the state that it's currently in. I'm like Misha, except instead of playing Pokemon Go every day, I'm playing the less popular Nintendo mobile game I blew my money on. During its first few years on the market, it was honestly the most fun I ever had with a mobile game, and many others felt that way. But now the player base is dwindling, and those that remain are slowly growing tired of how Fed is doing nearly 7 years in. The game's slowly becoming inaccessible to newcomers with its emphasis on PvP gameplay where, more often than not, the opponent's team consists of overpowered units. Summoning some of your own is the only way you can achieve any sort of victory in its PvP gameplay modes, which means you're going to have to save up a lot of orbs and or have RNG on your side. These modes are also where some of the game's most valuable resources come from, such as trait fruit, sacred coins, and refining stones, which enhance your units. This creates a distressing catch-22 for new players who want to stand a chance against the CPU of other players' units. Unless you pay, of course, but that's not fair to newcomers who don't have a solid understanding of how the game works. And understanding the game now is incredibly hard if you're new, because of all the new game modes and mechanics that have been introduced with little to no way to ease in outsiders. With returning players, the flashy promise of each new book is undermined by poor, oftentimes repetitive execution. New characters are subsequently thrown away and forgotten about after the book ends. Outside of the story, they're often reduced to cameos and forging bonds, only to be given a brief span of new attention years later before becoming forgotten about again. Older game modes like Tap Battle are pretty much obsolete at this point despite its uniqueness and replay value, whereas the divisive summoner duels have become a mainstay. And despite the game releasing back in 2017, we still haven't gotten a complete roster of any Fire Emblem game, not even Shadow Dragon or Fates. Hell, there's stuff like the Fire Emblem Cypher and Fire Emblem Warriors original characters that have yet to be represented in the game at all, when instead we just keep getting ults of characters that are already in the game for the third or fourth time. And in general, things are unbalanced and driving people away from various PvP modes like Aether Raids and Arena Duels. New characters like Diamond and Claude's Golden Breeze ult are stupidly overpowered, and make playing against them an inherent game over if you're not prepared. Even if you have the means to properly counter them, you have to read an entire novel's worth of text to make sure that your methods are effective. Not to mention the growing over-reliance on the Fed Pass, which is ironically a cheap way to bypass some of these issues. The game has transformed from a simple mobile game for Fire Emblem fans into a nightmare scenario for fans and outsiders alike, which is never a good sign. Slapping on a new Lyn or Camilla ult isn't enough to fix things, especially since they already have so many in the game as is. So where do we go from here? What can we do to make Fire Emblem Heroes great again? Well, it's simple really. We bring out the big guns. Give the people what they want instead of what the devs think we want. Give us Horizon Watcher Frederick 2.
Baby!
Frederick hasn't gotten an ult since Book 1, aka when the game was in its debatably least problematic state and a nostalgic era for some players. Even without the nostalgia though, there's appeal to be found here. This man is peak character design, he's peak dialogue, he's peak weaponry, he's peak everything. The ideal Horizon Watcher Frederick 2 would be even better in every way. He can take down units like Edelgard's Fallen Art or Formortis with a single seashell. He would have the most impactful dialogue in the entire game. He would have nipples, giving him some well-deserved and long-awaited character development. Every day, you will log on to Fire Emblem Heroes and be gifted this glorious unit as a separate daily login bonus. But if you can't get enough of him, don't worry, because the summoning pool is now full of Fredericks of all kinds. OG, Horizon Watcher 2, Easter, Christmas, Halloween, Performing Arts, Valentine's, Ninja Festival, Hot Springs, and of course, Legendary. The bonus units in any mode? Frederick. The central focus of the next Tempest Trials? Frederick. The main character of the next book? Frederick. The point of an all-new mode where you play minigames to boost your romantic potential with a unit? Whizzing up Frederick as thanks for all that he has done for not just this game, but for our society. The addition of Horizon Watcher Frederick 2 streamlines the player experience for people of all backgrounds so that we can all bask in his undying glory. No more worrying about accessibility, unbalanced rosters, or any other issues that have become prevalent up to this point. These problems will all be bypassed once we are introduced to this iconic unit, who will magically fix everything for us. Players around the world can rejoice in the fact that Horizon Watcher Frederick 2 will be the catalyst of a renaissance era for Fire Emblem Heroes. No. Frederick Emblem Heroes. It's the least we could do for the most amazing Horizon Watcher Frederick variant since Horizon Watcher Frederick 1, and we can only go up from here. For real though, Intelligence Systems, we gotta fix this game in 2024, please and thank you.
Oh shit!
Frederick!